As you might expect, I'm recording this directly off the heels of the Candace Owens reaction, and oh boy, we need a delicious change of pace, don't we? How about sharing in some misery that Bud Light has? Bud Light pours plummet in thousands of bars and restaurants. Yeah, because we took a look at the sales figures from yesterday, and that was in bulk and in volume. But what about, at the taps themselves? Nobody's buying this stuff. It is the boycott is working. The cultural shame, if you will, of trying to publicly discredit your audience and then just move on to something else that is a fraction of a percentile of the population doesn't work. It's not going to work. It is obviously blown up in everybody's face. Well, we know some percentage of the population likes that, but not the Bud Light folks, okay? With nearly 3,000 locations serving 6% less of the beer. That's a pretty wide swath of people, and now we're finally starting to get some numbers here at the end of the month where it comes to restocks, and I can imagine it's not going to end well. Number of people ordering Bud Lights at bars and restaurants across the country have plummeted in the weeks following the company's partnering with Dylan Mulvaney. Beginning in early to mid-April, Bud Light pours were down 6% at 3,000 locations, according to research by tech company Beer Board. In comparison, between March 18th and April 1st, the 2 weeks before the transgender influencer partnered with the beer company, Bud Light had actually outperformed the category by 15%. But you remember VP Alyssa Hirschneider saying that, yeah, Bud Light's kind of a dying brand. They were up. You can take a look at the long-term stock trend, and yeah, it's down right now from a pretty big high before all this stuff started. So yeah, her first campaign, catastrophic failure. In the 6 days that followed, Anheuser-Busch lost more than $6 billion in market capitalization. So yeah, that wasn't them directly losing $6 billion in a couple of days. No. That's just the amount that they send out there that could possibly be purchased. It's like when you have sales figures that are out there for certain products, like movies or video games come to mind. If a video game is actually well received, they will tell you about the sales figures. And if it's not doing that well, but they want to make it seem, they want to try to spin it, they'll tell you the number of units shipped. That's what market capitalization means. At $6 billion worth of potential products that's out there, they were retracted. Nobody's buying it, and there's a shelf life for beer specifically, even if it is on tap. So, according to the Beer Board data, Bud Light has dropped from 3rd to 4th in overall sales to overall rate of sales during April 2nd to April 15th. Bud Light has long been America's best-selling beer. No, it's a dying brand. What an absolute tard. Could you believe that she was the vice president of beer? Unbelievable. But its U.S. sales are down 2% so far this year, part of the long-running decline as younger consumers flock to sparkling seltzers and other drinks. Yeah, White Claws, and you guys have Bud Light seltzers. It's like, okay, cool. If you want to run a tranny marketing campaign, do it with that. Bud Light has its market. Okay, it's not going to be going there anywhere. It's going to be replenished. You have it in the same places. Everybody would have been fine with what you're doing. Okay, it is still, third best prior to this catastrophic marketing campaign. Though sales accelerated rapidly in April. In the week ending April 15th, Bud Light sales dropped 17% compared to the same week a year ago. Meanwhile, rivals Miller Lite and Coors Light both saw their sales jump more than 17%. So yeah, literally, it's not like the beer drinking market is shrinking up or drying up. But no, they're just switching off to brands that at least appeal to them right now, because I'm not too sure about Miller Lite, but Coors does the rainbow shit, and people are going to be just as outraged when June comes around, because they're going to be just as disgusting with their marketing. So we'll see if they keep that same energy. Bud Light's partnership with Mulvaney angered some customers and hurt sales. Depending on which outlets you read, it's just the far right extremists that are out there. You're giving them way too much credit. While you over publicize the transgender community, you definitely overrepresent the far right that's out there, because I don't know what Richard Spencer drinks or Nick Fuentes does or doesn't drink besides cum. It's very foreign to me, the drink choices of the fringe, but you're going to tell us that it's all okay to ostracize the people that made this the number 3 ranking drink of the alcoholic variety and then all of a sudden start to plummet. Good for you. 3 days after Mulvaney's post, Kid Rock posted a video of himself shooting cases of Bud Light. Shares in Bud Light's parent company, AB InBev, temporarily plunged, and the company issued a terse statement in response to the controversy. See, at least they're not saying that it's an apology anymore. It was just, hey, we employ people, so if you guys don't buy our stuff, they're going to end up losing their job. Good stuff. The company won't say when they will return or whether they're being paid. Oh, talking about, yes, Alyssa Heinerschneid and Daniel Blake, both of the marketing VPs. Alyssa for Bud Light specifically, and then, yes, the overseer for global brands and Daniel Blake, both getting the old heave-ho. And then as it comes to social media presence for Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch in general, awfully quiet outside of the TGIF post on Twitter for Bud Light and the Clydesdale campaign from Budweiser proper. Oh, okay, cool. You guys are really taking the, okay, if we don't pay attention, it doesn't exist tactic. Well, there's a problem with that. Well, there's competitors in the market that are actually doing exceedingly well in comparison. Check out Ultra Right Beer. We talked about them, what was that, last week at that point in time, where he had that one commercial of the conservative dad, I think he was calling himself, Seth Weathers. Seth Weathers, he was talking about, launching this new alcohol. It had already been in the works, and then, now he just had a perfect opportunity to pop off. And sometimes when it comes to business, all you need is the right moment in time, and he certainly capitalized on that, because check this. Ultra Right Beer expected to hit $1 million in sales amid Bud Light boycott. $1 million in sales for an alcohol startup. That's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. Ultra Right Beer, a drink launched by a conservative dad following Bud Light's partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, is expected to surpass $1 million in sales, despite only being in business for 12 days. Yo, check out those numbers. That's impressive. Ultra Right has gained more than 10,000 customers and sold 20,000 six-packs. Shit, okay. With the company on course to break $1 million by the end of the month, Fox Business reports. Founder Seth Weathers, who touts his beer as 100% woke-free, said the rise in business demonstrates a movement of conservatives dumping brands that they don't like and supporting those who share their values. Exactly. If the other companies that are out there say that, this is representative of what the people actually want, but when the people don't actually want it and somebody's giving them an alternative, it's just a mirror image of it, and it's like, okay, well, we share your values because, we're not stupid and we actually listen to our consumer base. So, if you want something of equal or greater value, well, just come over here, support the guy that's actually in America instead of just somebody that's headquartered in Europe out there that doesn't care about you. In fact, takes you for granted. So, it looks like it's very much working in his favor. Well, the numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, but numbers do not. It's more than a beer company. It's a movement of people who are speaking up and saying, no, he told Fox, we're done. This is our line in the sand. The beer, which goes for a whopping $19 a pack. Now, to be fair, I don't know what a six-pack of beer goes for. I think that that's a little high, but again, if you're supporting somebody local, like a one-guy startup, I'd imagine, and he also has other brewery licensing deals that are coming in as well. But as of right now, apparently it's working. $20,000 at $20 per. That would put it at what? Right now $400,000 in sales, which is amazing. So, came into prominence following backlash over Bud Light featuring Mulvaney in an ad, which prompted detractors to call for a boycott against Bud and its parent company Anheuser-Busch and all of the different brands that are within it, because you can boycott Bud Light all that you want, but if you're just going to substitute that out for Michelob Ultra, Michelob Light, well, you're just ending up sending it through different methods, but it's still going back to the big bosses that signed off on all this crap. Weathers, who described himself, after Daniel Blake was placed on leave, the guy who's in charge of all of the big brands for Anheuser-Busch, the marketing side of things, he was placed on paid leave. Oh, interesting. Very interesting that, yeah, none of the higher ups signed off on this stuff. It was just that one rogue actor. Okay. Weathers, who describes himself as the CEO of a Georgia-based, uncensorable conservative lifestyle brand, saw the opportunity to market his beer. Yeah, he was already launching this last time that we looked through it, and yeah, no, hey man, Bud Light just absolutely torpedoed their credibility, and he's like, oh sweet, I can just change the can a little bit and just go, okay, yeah, ultra woke, it's super conservative. I don't know if he was marketing it like that beforehand, but kind of sounds like it. Like he's got a track record of being ultra based all over social media prior to all this stuff launching off. So he seems sincere in his endeavors. That's more than I can say about any of those nameless, faceless corporations. Launching it with an ad campaign, specifically calling out Bud Light and Mulvaney. Yeah, there it is. I guess you can buy it there, even though I wouldn't recommend it. Beer is totally haram anyways, and nobody who actually, achieves anything in life, whenever their autobiography is told, it never begins. None of the chapters begin with, and then things really turned around for me when I started drinking. I don't recommend it, but then again, at the same time, I can't tell you how to live your life. Just, hey, don't give money to people that utterly detest you. How about that? We can all start there, right? Anyways, the ad features the conservative dad smashing a can of Bud Light with a baseball bat. The video has been viewed more than 46 million times. I don't even think I've watched it yet. All I've seen is just the reporting on it, and it's like, hey man, if you want to talk about, two different ad campaigns, both of them have been seen a whole hell of a lot. It's just one successful, and the other one has a tranny. Weathers called on his supporters to hold the line, and yes, fight like hell and all other insurrectionist rhetoric, because he's ultra-right, and not allow the boycott against Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch fizzle out like other protests against companies that embrace woke values in the past. Yeah, if there's an alternative now, well, now people have a reason to never go back to it. So, and that's something that's been sorely lacking whenever it comes to these types of boycotting tactics, okay? It's like, yeah, sure, people are more than willing to give up their vices or give up their different expenses if they can just, do something different. You've seen it with media a whole hell of a lot. Oh, there's something woke in the latest Disney film. Okay, cool. Well, where are people going to take their kids? Because, instead of, thinking of alternatives, they just want an easy out. They just want to plunk their kids in front of something for 2 hours, and if there's not an alternative out there, they're boycott and their energy for that simple endeavor, that's only going to last for so long before their kids are like, no, we just want to watch the Mickey Mouse cart. I don't even know if Mickey Mouse is even in Disney anymore. He's a straight mouse, so he's probably not in any of the programming. I don't know. The Strange Worlds, the catastrophic failure. But yeah, what's the alternative? There isn't one out there. But when it comes to beer, well, hey man, now there is one. And it seems to be working. This behavior from big corporate will never end until conservatives hold the line. We've never followed through, but this is our chance. Never buy another Anheuser-Busch product again, ever, period. This guy's a hell of a good salesman, if I'm being completely honest. Like, he's saying all of the right things, and it just so happens. You guys need to boycott the biggest brewer in America, something that is inexorably linked to the American flag. You don't need to do that anymore. Buy my product. It's a good line. I'm not faulting them for it. It's definitely the tactic to do as somebody who has an extensive history in sales. I just noticed something that's going on here. Not saying that it's good, not saying that it's bad, just saying that it's goddamn effective. Until we cause permanent economic harm to woke corporations who treat us like garbage, they will never stop. Oh, I thought the right was against cancel culture. Well, do you remember when AOC just gleefully admitted that deplatforming works? Tucker Carlson's out at Fox News. Isn't it great? You got to fight fire with fire. While sales for ultra-right appear to be growing, Bud Light sales tanked 17% in dollars, with volume dropping a whopping 21% in the week ended April 15th, according to data from Nielsen IQ and Bump Williams Consulting. Yes, and Alyssa Heinerschneid, Daniel Blake, everybody's on leave of absence, and yeah, radio silence from the Anheuser-Busch products, and same with Dylan Mulvaney, except for, a Maybelline sponsorship, EOS sponsorship, and some kind of swimwear. Oh, right, and shaving cream and razors for her mustache, her feminine mustache. Holy Christ, I can't believe we live in this timeline, but we do. So, you got to report on the stupidity that's out there and make some people laugh, because if you aren't laughing, you're crying at the degradation of society. Who would have thought in 2023 we were promised flying cars? Now we have feminine penises. Holy, what a fair trade. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.